Rev up your engine. Today we're going to talk about, are you going to buy a used car as is with no goodwill warranty repairs? Now there's all kinds of laws about pre-existing conditions. If it was a real clunker, you bought it and the engine fell out the next day, believe me, get yourself a lawyer, you'll get your money back. You could even sue him for triple damages. But it seems to run pretty good when he drove it over here. We're going to go through the whole thing. Beautiful looking car. This particular one is the advanced package one. They claim it's a one owner. Got all the stuff that it's got on it. It was made in the United States. It wasn't made in Mexico or any crazy place. Beautiful leather seats. It's got 3-row seating. We'll look under the hood. These V6 engines are really strong engines, but realize, as we'll take off this goofy beauty cover, there it goes. Baby's got a rubber timing belt inside. Now, rubber timing belts are stupid for two reasons. One, they're rubber, eventually they're going to break, right? But this is an interference engine. If that rubber timing belt breaks while you're driving down the road going 50, the pistons lift the valves, goodbye engine. So you should change these every 100,000 miles. This says 100-something thousand miles, and he said if he buys it, the first thing he's going to do is have a timing belt and a water pump put on. And that's what you would do. Strangely enough, even in 2025, Honda and Acura are still using rubber timing belts on interference engines. Why they're not using timing chains, I don't know. But on the plus side, if I say it's good and he buys it, hey, I'll probably spend $1,200-1,300 having a belt and a water pump put on, and then he doesn't have to think about it for 100,000 miles. Now, it's been maintained, and you can tell because some of the clips are missing. You got to take all this crap off when you're working on stuff. So, I mean, hey, you look closely, it's probably been a fender bender because I can see this has been repainted. So, who cares about fender benders? What we care is it's going to last them a long time as a used car. And so far, everything looks clean. He had a compression test done on the engine, and that was fine. That's good, because you always want to see if people have taken care of it and changed the oil. Now, this looks like it's been a Southern car, so I doubt if it has any rust, but we'll look anyways. And solid as can be. No rust, that's what you want. A nice Southern car. The wheels aren't bad. Somebody's hit tiny bits of curbs here and there. Nothing outrageous. They all do that. The automatic opener works. And you can see, these babies have a lot of room in them. Those are the seats. You can pop them up. Got nice power outlets on it. Little mini trunk job action going on here. And it's got a jack. Now you're going to see the spare. That's because it's hiding under here. Okay, it does have a spare. It is one of those fake spares, but at least it's a spare. Better than a little glue plug and an air pump, right? At least you can put it on and get somewhere. I don't see any body panels that are off a little. It doesn't look like it's been in any kind of wrecks. Now, somebody at some point in time tried to break in, just like my wife's Lexus. They hit that with their little stealing tool, but I mean, hey, the giant scan tool. Now it's detected the vehicle. Acura will do standalone diagnosis. And now it's starting to think. Here we go. It read the VIN. That was fast. It's USA Acura MDX 2018. See, we can do a full topology scan. So here we go. While it's doing it, the interior's in excellent shape. You got all the different modes you can do for driving it. Eco, power. You can turn the automatic shut off every time you start the car, and I advise to do that because when you think about it, 95% of your car wear is on startup. Do you want your car to keep shutting itself off and then turning itself on when you come to a stop? Not only is it annoying, but you'll be really annoyed when your engine wears out and starts burning oil or starts rattling from piston knock because the engine wore because it was stopped and started too much. Great shape in the back seats. Nice center console in the back too. Very luxurious. It's only got one trouble code, so we'll look at that. That's not bad. Keyless access. Well, really, we know that's a bunch of garbage anyways. But we'll see what it says. It's keyless access or TPMS. Keyless access said no code, so it's probably got a code for the tire pressure monitoring system. No one really cares that much about, but we'll see what the code is. Right rear tire low air pressure. Okay. Whoop-de-doo. It's a permanent code, so it probably needs a new sensor. So you gotta take the tire apart, put a new sensor in, rebalance the tire. If you want to do that, or do like I do, get a tire pressure gauge and bypass the whole thing. But that's certainly not a reason not to buy the car. So we'll start her up now. Start looking at some data. And here we go. Remember, black is good, red is bad. And here comes a ton of information that probably means nothing to you, but it means a lot to me. Everything's black, looks good. Let's look at some data that'll tell us what shape it's in. Okay, here's the airflow sensor. Look, it's 0 or 0.03. 0.04. Well, that's pretty good for something with 100-something thousand miles on it. At its worst, it is 0.04% off. That's not bad. As we can see, it's got 129,577 miles on it. It's good. Again, you can see now this. The lambda count 1 is perfect. So now it's only 1/100th off, or it's perfect. So things running like a clock. See, it's got rocker arm control solenoid. Those are off now. But this is something that you can debate about yourself by the car. This has variable cylinder management. I don't like it because it turns cylinders off. Say you're cruising at 60, it might shut cylinders off to get better gas mileage. But then you got a hot cylinder, cold non-firing cylinder, and a hot cylinder. That messes with the thermodynamics of the engine, and over time it will actually make the pistons in the bore, instead of round, a tiny bit oval. Then they start burning oil. You can put kits on these to turn those systems off. I personally believe in putting those kits on for longevity. But you'll also probably get 2.5 to 3 miles a gallon worse gas mileage. So it's up to you what you want to do. Me, I'd put the kit in and turn the stupid thing off. Everything is as it should be. Misfires, I expect to see none. Look, zeros across the board. Misfiring. You got 1,350 cycles and it's still 0, so the engine's running good. Here we go. It's got a nice, beautiful dash display. I always went for black and silver. And even though this is all electronic, everything's electronic these days, that's just how it goes. Parking, brakes, transmission. And look, it's got a very nice setup. You can see both sides, front and back. It's beeping because we're too close to the lions at the end of the driveway. But we're not going to hit it, so we don't care. Now, the first thing I noticed, this thing idles smooth. You don't even think the thing's running. And here we go. We'll see how it shifts. This is a 9-speed automatic. It's got a lot of shifts, but you can barely feel them shift. I mean, only by listening. You wouldn't feel or hear anything if you had the radio on or the window rolled down. And being an Acura, these things have a combination of a pretty good ride, but still fun to zip around in. He wants to travel around with his wife. He's getting ready to retire. And this would be a good vehicle for traveling cross country, because realize one thing. Highway drivers equivalent to only 10 or 15% of city driving. If you drove this baby on holiday on a highway, 10,000 miles, it's like driving at 1,000 miles in town. So it can last even longer if you're driving it on the highway all the time. Here we go to the back of the road. They still haven't built anything there. They tore it down, but they didn't build anything. We'll take it up here to our little drag strip. The thing about the Acuras is they do handle and ride. They have a pretty good combination. A lot of people are sold on Lexuses, but a lot of people buy these because, as he found out, the used Lexuses cost a lot more than these, and the ride differential isn't that much. Well, here we go. Whee! Nice engagement. Nice pickup. Hey, this car's in excellent shape. I'll certainly tell him he can buy it. Hey, I mean, you can cruise all day in this thing. The seat is just so comfortable. I could see my neck wouldn't hurt, my back wouldn't get sore. Now here we go on a little turn. Tranny shifting like a dream. This is a really nice car. Now, I'm a cheapskate, and so is this guy. Neither of us are going to fork out for a brand new one. But in this price range, hey, it's a pretty good car. You figure you're paying about 1/4 of what the average new car costs for a luxury vehicle like this. This is why I tell people, if you want a real luxury car, get a used one. Because you buy them new, it's got all the bells and whistles, highest price. This has all the bells and whistles, and it's not the highest price because a lot of people, truthfully, are scared of buying a car that has 120,000 miles on it. But in the case of this, other than changing the timing belt soon, it's not something that you really have to worry about. It was a one owner. They obviously took care of it. It has records, service records. And that's another thing I'm telling people. Keep service records of your cars if you plan on selling them later on. Me, I don't have my own because I never sell them. I drive them till the wheels fall off. And even when I do sell them, I sold her Toyota to a guy for a couple of grand. And he knew it was my car. He didn't care about records. And he drove it until the doors fell off because it came from up north and it rusted. And the door actually did fall off in the driver's side. Then he just climbed in the passenger side instead. It still ran. So we've checked it out and the sun is coming out indeed. It's shining on the car that I'm going to tell him to buy. He wanted a nice luxury car. It's a nice luxury car at a pretty good price. It's got a lot of years left in it. I know that scares a lot of people away, 120-something thousand miles, but in the case of this, it was taken care of. And driving this car, I can just about guarantee you that most of the mileage put on this car were highway mileage, it's just 10 to 15% of city driving. This was not driven 120,000 miles in stop and go traffic in Houston or New York City, no. Probably had a lot of highway life on it. And for such a nice looking, nice riding vehicle, hey, things aren't cheap anymore and they want $19,811 for it. He can see if he can get a little bit less for it, but I just say, hey, buy the thing, lots of room, very safe inside with multi-airbags, and this one still runs like a clock. Even though it's not made in Japan, Honda, of course, makes Acuras. They've been making cars in the United States, and they've been doing a pretty good job on it. I just keep wondering why they keep putting rubber timing belts in their V6 engines. That's maybe a question that no one will ever be able to answer. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.